What is a red flag from an employer that people might not immediately recognize as a red flag? Sporadic and slow responses during the interview period. It signals that either they don't value the potential new employee's time, or are so disorganized that they can't even keep their own interviews lined up. You check out Glassdoor and there are a bunch of overwhelmingly positive reviews from anonymous current employees. That under cons list, no cons that I can think of. Quote, and #X200B. Even the best place to work in the world has some cons. When an employee quits or gets fired from the job and the company doesn't hire anyone new to replace them, it can be hard to tell as a red flag at first. But the temporary workload they added to your own over that was left over after the person left slowly becomes your new permanent workload, without any changes to your pay or benefits to compensate for the additional tasks. The further out it goes without the position being filled, the larger and more obvious the red flag becomes. When management talks poorly about the other employees, it might make you feel included, special at first but guaranteed they're going to be talking about you next. Want to find the red flag fast? During your interview, when the employer asks if you have any questions, ask this: can you tell me about a recent time one of your employees really excelled? A good employer won't have any trouble celebrating their team. A crap employer will struggle hard to answer. And it's a perfectly reasonable question. Micromanaging out of nowhere. Management who are willing to risk it and cut corners. Had an interview with a company. The guy interviewing me told me that he would be my boss if I got THR job. He likes his teams to be a strong and cohesive group and that we would all have an input as he values his team. Maybe 3 questions later he asks me, if you had an unstable load that I told you has to be loaded this minute, you would do it? Me: no. If it is unsafe and could potentially kill someone, I would not allow it out. Not until the problem is sorted. Had a boss pull this one years before, I would tell him of the issue and try to get it sorted. Him: and I tell you it must be loaded as is. Me: then it won't get loaded, and I would bring it to health and safety. He immediately told me how I was not the right type of person for that company. A large international company, willing to promote that individual. I consider myself lucky to have not been even offered the job. Saved me turning it down. Offering to pay you a lot less than market rate because you will learn so much, or will be working with a great team. My bank does not take IQ points as a mortgage payment. When you don't get a review until you ask for a raise, then, all of a sudden, your work is being questioned and you're being berated. It's a fast-paced environment, excellent for self-starters. Paraphrasing from a similar comment. When you hear, we're like a family here, run and don't look back. The only family trait that'll come from that job is the dysfunction, gaslighting, and lack of accountability. If the interviewer is negative and nitpicky but hires you anyway, either decline the offer or, at the very least, keep looking for something better if you absolutely need the income right now. High turnover, overcompensating management. When they say stuff like, we're definitely not a 9-to-5 place, we stay until the work is done, they mean there will be lots of overtime. Possibly due to poor planning or overcommitment by leadership. It could still be a good job. But negotiate for equity, not just a salary. Regular mandatory overtime. In other words, your salary, but after 60 hours per week you're not making a whole lot over minimum wage. We don't really eat lunch. Fuck you, I've been working my ass off all day, I'm gonna sit down for 30 minutes to an hour and eat my damn sandwich. We run with a lean team. That just means you will do the work of 2.5 FTE. We work hard and we play hard. Introducing changes for the sake of change. Not only does it waste time if the change just makes South different, but usually it makes worse. But also is prompted by people who don't even know what you actually do. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. It applies 1,000,000% in business. Innovate when you have to or know you can do it better. Otherwise, frick off. When a company tells you you're required to be 10 to 15 minutes early for your shift. In previous jobs that I've quit, anytime I remind a supervisor it's illegal to require that, they clam up. If they are not paying for that 15 minutes, you are not required to show up then. At least that's the case in Ontario anyway. Deleted. Two sides of the same coin. 1. No proud photos of their products. 2. Motivational posters anywhere. Good companies celebrate their products, services, and * all of the employees who contribute to their success. And the employees are both well compensated for the work and self-motivated to do it. Hey, can you handle this real quick? We need it by Monday morning. It's 3 p.m. on a Friday and there's inevitably something fucked up inside of it that will make it take 8+ hours.